Hello and welcome to Matt's Mosh Pit, and tonight I'm going to be checking out God-Fearing Man by Imminence. But before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love and support you've shown me and my channel so far. It truly means a lot, and I could not do this without you. So folks, Imminence. I've covered them a couple times on the channel. As a matter of fact, the very first time I ever heard them was on this channel, and I remember they just blew me away. The lead singer has such a great voice, but then to find out that he plays the violin as well, and the violin just meshes so well with the style of music that they play. It's just, awesome. And so the cool thing is I actually get to see Imminence in a couple weeks, and I'm just completely stoked, for lack of better terms, to see them live. They're also going to be at the Tuska Fest, which is awesome because I'm going to be there as well. So if everything goes well at the show in a couple weeks here, it's going to be even better because in a couple more months I'm going to see him again at Tuska. So all around good times with Imminence. So anyway, I've never heard this song before, so let's go check it out and see what God-Fearing Man has to offer. And I'm hoping it's really good because I'm going to assume they're going to play it in a couple weeks when I see them, but you never know. But let's go check it out here. Okay, that is awesome. It reminds me of Metallica's Trapped Under Ice off of the Ride the Lightning album, but he seems to be just chilling where I would be panicking. But either way, that's just an awesome visual there.
It hurts like hell, but it feels like it hurts like hell, but it feels like I hide behind the walls, 'cause I don't wanna see the pain inside, the truth that brings me to my knees. It hurts like hell, but it feels like heaven. It hurts like hell, but it feels like nothing is sacred. In a heart full of hatred, I see redemption.
Okay, sorry, I just had to, I always get these weird thoughts, and okay, so Imminence is from Sweden, and what I've noticed is a lot of the Nordic bands or, Swedish bands and whatnot, their videos always make me cold. They're always, a lot of them, I should say, I'm not going to say always, but a lot of them take place in like snowy mountains and snow and more snow and ice and all of that kind of stuff. And for me, I don't necessarily live in a climate like that, so I'm just constantly freezing when I see this kind of stuff. If you're from Sweden or any of the Nordic, area of the world, does this make you cold too, or is it just me? You know, like, is this like, oh, it's just a regular Wednesday, you know, for you guys? I don't know, but it just seems like a lot of these bands make these really cold videos, and you know, it works from an aesthetic standpoint, but it always makes me cold. So I'm just kind of curious if you live in one of these countries where it's probably like this, you know, for a good portion of the year, does that like bother you, or is it just a regular thing? You know, because I would be freezing cold, and these dudes just seem to be chilling. So I'm very envious of it in a weird sort of way. I wish I could be out there and just be chilling, you know, like these guys are. Anyway, just my thoughts. Okay, I just want to point this out because I noticed it earlier in the video, but this dude has a 9 Inch Nails tattoo on his, I believe it's his right arm, and that fascinates me because it is kind of interesting. Like he's in a band, but he's got another band's tattoo, which there's nothing wrong with that because who knows when he got the tattoo, and he could be younger, maybe not even in a band, and he's just a big fan of 9 Inch Nails. So I'm kind of fascinated by, you know, folks, let me know in the comments, like, how many of you have a tattoo of another band, or you know, a popular band somewhere, you know, or tribute to another band? Because I'm not gonna lie, I think I would probably do that. Like, I think if I were to get a tattoo, it would be of a band that I was like really passionate about and love. So I'm very fascinated about what band you would actually put on your body for life. So anyway, let's check it out further. Maybe leave me notes in the comments, folks. that ending was awesome. Like, I'm not gonna lie, for the first portion of the video, it was kind of like, okay, I'm just feeling it, and it was very like slow, and there would be little nuggets of like like cool like action, like something's gonna happen, but you're just kind of going, kind of waiting and whatnot. And I think the video completely took a turn when the guitar player was like samurai style, or just really cool badass style, pulling out the bow, and you're like, oh yeah, now it's on. And so then it was just like awesome. That whole like ending part just made up for like the slower parts in the beginning of the song, and it was super awesome. And I think that's the one thing that I love about this band is it feels like they're just doing things different than like anybody else, and like I don't know how many other bands have a lead singer that plays violin, and just even things like I know that like Jimmy Page back in the day, played a guitar with a bow, and I know that's been done before, but I just think it's, they're just bringing a different element to the genre, which I just think is super, super cool. And it just makes me more excited to see them live. It's just going to be awesome. But that whole like samurai, like awesome. So anyway, thoroughly dug it, folks. So, let me know your thoughts. I know a couple of you have already seen Imminence live because we've had some back and forth, and from what I hear, they're awesome. But, if you have not, written in before, definitely write in and, let me know your thoughts on Imminence, if you've seen them live, all that kind of good stuff. Also about the tattoos. Like I said, I'm very fascinated, and I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. I think actually, I guess it does depend on the band. Like, would you get, like, I don't know if you want to make a quick judgment to get a band tattoo, because what if like their first album is amazing and everything's great, and then like you get the tattoo and then the next albums just trail off and they become awful, and they then go down in history as like a one-hit wonder type of thing. Like, you don't necessarily want that tattoo. But if they're a legacy band that, has had a lot of great albums, maybe a couple bad ones here and there, but you can live with that, right? So I'm kind of curious, like I'm trying to think of which band I would get a tattoo of. And I would say at this point, I probably would get like an Iron Maiden tattoo. I don't know if I would have it like spelled out, but I would have like an Eddie, something involving Eddie, I think would be kind of cool. But anyway, with that being said, folks, let me know. Do you have any band influenced tattoos? What are your thoughts on them? Is it something you would just never do? Or if you want a tattoo that you haven't had one before, but you want to get one in tribute to a band, which band would you choose? So I'm very curious about that. So please, please, please leave comments. With that being said, if you have come to my channel a few times and still haven't hit subscribe, it would be super, super cool if you did, because that will only further grow this channel, and hopefully other people, whether it be bands or record labels or whatever, catch us, catch a glimpse of us and want to start sending us like free music or, interviews, that kind of stuff. It all comes down to subscriptions and comments and all the standard things that you see on YouTube. So please, please, please participate if you can. It would be super awesome. With that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.